Hi, my name is Alex and welcome to the Crochet Circle.
In today's video, I want to show you how to make a basic granny square in one color. But before I begin, I don't know if you knew, but do you know what a granny square actually is? Well, according to Wikipedia, a granny square is a piece of a square fabric produced in crocheting by working in rounds from the center outwards. They are traditionally handmade and they do resemble like a coarse lace. Of course, the yarn is much thicker, and this is why. Now, there is no limit to the size of the granny square that you want to make. It can be small, it can be large, it can be made with a thick yarn, it can be made with a much thinner yarn. So depending on the hook size, the yarn size, the number of rows that you repeat, you can get any size that you need. Now, what you can make out of granny squares, you can make clothing, purses, blankets, and other household items. I'm gonna show you, I already showed you how to make a granny square bag. Now, though that one was made from the Sunburst granny squares, you can have the link in the description below. But in this video tutorial series, I'm gonna show you how to make first the basic granny squares, then how to change the color, and hush hush, but I'm also gonna let you in on a little secret how I prefer doing my granny squares. So this is the basic pattern. I think that 99.75% of times when you're gonna search online for a basic granny square pattern, you're gonna get this one. It's really easy to make. What you have to remember is in the corners 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. In between the corners, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, all the way around. I'm gonna let you in already now on one secret. Now, perhaps if you already done some granny squares and your granny squares were a bit wonky, so they were a bit out of shape. Now this granny square is not blocked yet, but you can see that it has like a square shape. The reason is, now that's a secret I learned, that you change the orientation how you crochet in each row. So I started like this, then I flipped it around for the second row, then I flipped it around for the third row, and I flipped it around for the fourth row, and then you can see how nicely squared it is. So that's secret number one. Whenever you're doing the rows, just flip the work around, because then you won't get those wonky angles. Now the second secret is at the beginning, so no peeking until then, and I think we can begin. So now that you know what today's video is gonna be about, let's get started. So I have some yarn, it's cotton yarn here. I have my 3mm crochet hook, I have a needle just to make the invisible join, and I have some scissors to cut off the yarn for the end tail. So there are actually two ways that you can begin your granny square. You can do a slip knot and work from there. So a slip knot is, I go around my thumb, go from the bottom over and just make a knot. Now this knot is adjustable to pull it tighter, but what I would suggest is just doing a magic ring, because I'm doing all the magic rings whenever I'm doing the granny squares. So for my magic ring, I grab my yarn, I go twice around my thumb, then I go in with my crochet hook and pull the loop. And now I can begin with the first stitch. The first stitch is actually chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, and this chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. So I'm actually gonna be doing now the first corner, so I need 2 more double crochets, so that's second one and a third one. Now in the corner, chain 2, and now do another cluster of 3 double crochets. So yarn around my hook into the magic ring, pulling it through, pulling it through. That's the first one, second double crochet, and the third double crochet. Now again, chain 2 for the corner, another 3 double crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, chain 2 for the next corner, that's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm gonna pull the magic ring just a bit tighter. You can see I have 1, 2, 3 corners done. Now for the last corner, chain 2, and I have to join it with the third chain of the beginning. So if you can see it, those are my 1, 2, 3 chains of the first stitch, and I have to join it in this top one. So that's 1, 2, 3, and in the third one, in the top one, I have to join it with a slip stitch. Now I can pull the magic ring tight, and as you can see, it really closes up the middle part. Now let's start with row number 2. So row number 2 is actually gonna be worked in the opposite direction. That's why I need to flip around my work. So this is actually the back side of the first row. This is how I finished. This is the front. I flip it around to see the back. I'm gonna just rearrange my yarn, and now the second row is worked in the opposite direction. I mean, it's still gonna be in the same direction, but because I flipped it around, it's actually gonna be in the other direction. So working on the back side, chain 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. This chain 3 counts as the first double crochet, and I need 2 more double crochets to make the first cluster. Now because this is a corner stitch, I have to do chain 2 and another cluster of 3 double crochets in the same chain 2 space. So this is the first corner of the second row. Now between 2 clusters on the not in the corners but on the edge, I'm gonna be doing a chain 1, and because the next stitch is the corner stitch, I have to do 3 double crochets, chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. So that's first, second and third double crochet, chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Now I have 2 corners done. Now this is again the straight edge, so I'm gonna do a chain 1, and because the next is gonna be a corner, I again have to repeat 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3. Chain 1 because it's on the straight edge between the 2 stitches, and this stitch is again a corner stitch, so I have to do 3 double crochets, chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now between those 2 stitches there is a chain 1, and I have to join it with a third chain of the chain 3 of the beginning of the row. So this is the third chain, and as you can see, I'm grabbing the bottom and the top loop. I hope you can see it. I'm grabbing the bottom and the top loop of the chain and making a slip stitch. Now that's 2 rows done. Again, because I don't want my granny square to shift left and right, what I have to do now is again flip it around. And this is again the front side because it's where we started, where I started. So this one was the front, this one is the back, and now I'm again gonna do the front side. I already stated that why I'm flipping it around, it's because I want my square to be actually square, not to be in an angle, because if you wouldn't flip the work around, if you wouldn't be working left and right, that means it would shift just a bit by the corners, but as you can see already without any blocking, I have a perfect almost square. So as I said, I'm gonna flip it around, so I'm working on the back side now of the previous row, and I'm gonna again begin with a chain 3, and this one counts already as the first double crochet, and now I have to do 2 more double crochets in the chain 1 space. Now this is the corner. Before I get to there, I'm gonna do a chain 1 because on the straight edge I'm doing chain 1s between the stitches, and now I'm going into the corner. In the corner again it's the same, 3 double crochets, chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, chain 2 and another 3 double crochets in the chain 2 space. Chain 1, in the chain 1 space of the previous row, 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, again chain 1 and then do another corner, so that's 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, in the chain 1 space of the previous row, 3 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, and another chain 1 to go into the corner. In the corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and another 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now again into the next stitch, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space of the previous row, chain 1, and the corner is 3 double crochets, chain 1, chain 2, and another 3 double crochets. I was already in the next part of the granny square where I have to do chain 1 and join it into the third chain of the chain 3 with a slip stitch. Again, when I'm joining it in the third stitch, I'm grabbing both loops of the chain, and making a slip stitch. Now this is 1, 2, 3 rows done. I'm gonna show you how to make another row. Again, I've been working this way around, so this is my front. Now I have to flip it around because I want to do it in the other way. And why I'm gonna be doing it in the other way is just to have a nice square shape. I'm gonna begin with the chain 3. That one already counts as the first double crochet, and then do 1, 2 more double crochets, chain 1, and now I'm here at the corner. In the corner you do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and another 3 double crochets, chain 1, in the chain 1 space of the previous row, 3 double crochets, chain 1, in the chain 1 space of the previous row, 3 double crochets, chain 1. I'm at the corner now. The corner again is 3 double crochets and a chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. Now to go into the next stitch, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space, chain 1, again 3 double crochets in the chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets, this is the corner one, so it's 3 double crochets, chain 2, and another 3 double crochets. Into the next stitch, chain 1, in the chain 1 space of the previous row, 3 double crochets, chain 1, into the next chain 1 space of the previous row, 3 double crochets, chain 1, again corner, the corner is 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, I think you see the pattern now more clearly how it's done. And as I already said, you can make as small or as large a granny square as you want. So for me, I'm gonna end it here on this row, but if you need a larger granny square for your project, you just make more rows. And how the rows are done, I already showed you. So this is now the end. So I'm cutting the yarn off, and now I have to join it invisibly. How I'm gonna do that is I'm not gonna go in. I hope you can see it. Let's focus a bit. So these two loops are the third chain of the chain 3 in the beginning. I'm not gonna go into this one, I'm gonna go into the next one because I wanna overlap the first stitch. And then I'm going back from where I started and I'm pulling it together. And now all I have to do is secure the tail in. That means I'm going up and down the stitches. And into the corner stitch as well, because I think there's the easiest way to hide the end tail or to work the end tail in. Now I'm gonna go down into the previous row, go through the corner, go back up, and to the start. And I can cut the starting tail. And this is a basic granny square done. Now I did promise you in the beginning a little secret I'm gonna let you in, and to be honest, I like this granny square, but if I want to make a coin purse or a pouch or something like that out of it, I think these holes are a bit big. Now don't forget, this is the basic pattern. Every time you're gonna try searching online for a basic crocheted granny square pattern, you're 99.8% times gonna get this kind of a pattern where you have 3 double crochets, chain 2 3 double crochets for the edges, and in between the edges you're gonna just get 3 double crochets with a chain 1 space. Now what I like more is this one. There is a small difference, as you can see. This one is done much tighter, and if you want to know how I made this one, I guess you will just have to wait for the next tutorial, and once this will be up, it will also be down in the description below. Now this is my secret. This is the pattern that I showed you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, and even if it's a question or a remark what I could do better, just let me know and I'm gonna try my best. Until the next time, I'm gonna say happy crafting!